Karma clap.
And welcome back to Gorgeous Pandemonium. I'm Gabrielle.
And I'm Charissa. We're so excited to have you join us for another episode where we dive into the big things, the little things, and the gorgeous chaos in between.
So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's get into it.
All right.
So this week's episode is going to be, and next week's episodes are going to shift focus to Pride Month, which we are both very excited about. We do have a couple of PSAs that we wanted to get started with before we get into the actual episode. First and foremost, with our recordings, I'm sure many of you have noticed the past 3 weeks we pre-recorded those, so they're not as up to date. But now here we are, and we will be doing this a lot more like presently, time-wise. The other PSA is a little bit more political. It's very political. During the past couple of weeks, there has been a lot of drama, like high school drama, between a lot of big political figures in our country. And with that, I know a lot of people are like making fun of it or getting so frustrated or whatever. We want everyone to just stay mindful to what is going on behind the scenes, because yes, it is hilarious that there are mean girl memes about the burn book and between these two people, and it's hilarious for sure. But keep in mind that a lot of the times these things are put out there to distract the public from what's really happening. So we would really like, for everyone's benefit, just be mindful that while stuff like this is happening, other things are going on that we aren't necessarily seeing. And it is, with the temperature of the political climate, it is incredibly important that we all stay aware and make things known when things aren't okay, and when we need to see change and we need to make those moves. So I think that covers it. Did I miss anything?
No, you did not.
Okay. So thank you for listening to those PSAs. As a recap, we're going to start recording more like timely, and just check your surroundings emotionally, physically, politically. Just make sure you're aware. Right? Okay. So with this episode, I know that we have asked some of our close friends who are a part of this beautiful community that you and I are also a part of to share their stories or just their experiences within the community. We have, I believe most of them are staying anonymous because of the political climate and for safety reasons. So we are going to be sharing their stories as well as our own within the community. So if this doesn't align with you, or if you get offended by people's stories and they're living their authentic lives, this episode, and chances are this podcast, are not for you. And that's okay. We're not for everyone, and everyone's not for us, and that's okay.
Truth.
Okay. I hope I didn't say that too harshly, but
no, that was great. It's true.
So, Gabrielle here. I don't know if you guys can tell our voices apart yet. I've been doing most of the talking already. I had to write out mine because this is such like it's serious and fun. Like, it's fun, but it's also a serious thing, and I don't want to like miss any key parts for me. And we had actually talked about it a couple weeks ago, but I decided to take a different avenue with how I wanted to talk about myself. So, let me pull it up. Okay. So if it sounds scripted, it kind of is, because I literally wrote it down and I'm going to read what I wrote. But as always, if you have questions or anything, please let me know.
Cool.
Or if you have a comment, show me your hands or something. I don't know.
Just raise my hand.
Raise your hand. Okay, so For me, I always knew I was attracted to people of all genders, but it wasn't until a few years ago that I truly came to terms with being pansexual after thinking that, oh, well, maybe I'm just a lesbian, maybe I'm bi, maybe I'm something else. But just the last few years was when I really came to terms with being pansexual. So with pansexuality, it means being attracted to people regardless of their gender identity. So it's about connection and energy and who someone is at their core, not what gender they are. So my soul is searching for another soul, regardless of what's in their pants, essentially. For me, as a pan woman, I've had to navigate a lot of misunderstanding, and I'm sure you have as well, because of what you're going to talk about with yours. I'm not going to out you. I'll let you out yourself. But as a pan woman, I've had to navigate a lot of misunderstanding. So some people don't take it seriously. They think it's like a fad or that I'm just confused. And for a long time, I carried this idea that like living in the world that we are, I was supposed to end up with a cisgendered hetero man, most likely from the church or something like that, right? And that was the script I thought I had to follow. But when I started giving myself like permission to let that go and fully embrace my authentic feelings and sexuality, I found that the love I experience is deeper and more honest and more real when I look at the soul. And it's a type of love that's without a cage. It's a love that breathes, which is so wonderful, right?
So beautiful.
And yeah, so I want to do a shout out because there is someone who's been an anchor for me during this journey, and that's my older sister. You've gotten the chance to talk to her a lot more since the pod came out because she's been texting us every time she listens. So if you're out there, if you're listening, hey girl, hey. So even though she's usually been in heterosexual relationships, her support has never wavered. She's been a source of strength and comfort and love for me like this whole time. So that's been something super excellent. So I was actually talking to her yesterday. We talked about this last night at dinner, but I was talking to her yesterday because I was going through writing this out and I realized, oh shit, she's dated a girl before. I'm like, okay. And I never thought much of it because like I just assumed she was straight and maybe just like she had a really bad experience with men, tried women. Because, you know, people do that and that's okay. And I mean, a lot of the times that's how people realize that they're not straight. So whatevs. But that moment like really made me like pause and realize I never actually asked her how she identified. Okay, so I'm going to read the conversation between us. Okay. So my sister and I are hilarious. Just
absolutely, 100%.
I know you've seen us interact just a little bit, but like, dang it.
I need to see more.
Okay, so my first thing was, of course, just her name. And then I said, are you hetero? I know you've dated a girl before, but I don't know where you stand. And she was like, I have dated a girl before. And I said, okay, are you heterosexual or like, what are we working with here? And she said, no, ma'am, I am not a sexual orientation. Currently, I'm with my devoted and obsessed worshiper. So technically, I'm in a heterosexual relationship, and I'm a cisgendered woman. And I did the head explosion emoji, of course. And she said, I don't like titles or labels except when people call me God, Lord, Ultimate Creator, Goddess, Royal Highness, Madam President, Czar, Queen Witch, whichever. And then she went on to say, my thing with sexual orientation labels are, or is, if you have to ask, I'm clearly not sleeping with you, so it's really not your business. To the outside world, she was saying that to the outside world and not to me.
I love that so much, though. That's so true.
Yeah. And I was just in awe with her because like, I think that it's super important that not that everyone should have to come out, like no one should have to come out.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're going to make the people in the queer community come out, you heteros need to come out too, because who the fuck knows anymore?
Exactly.
So there's that. And I told her, and I even said, I love this so much because I feel like you just came out to me. And she said, well, you're the first person I've explained it to. I just don't like labels. And I would think pansexual, but like, no, I'm not sexual with you if you have to ask. So I was like, oh, okay. That'd be pretty cool if we both were, though. But so after that conversation, like, that experience reminded me how important it is to be like mindful of other people's sexual and gender identities too.
Mm-hmm.
We can't assume that we know someone's whole truth just based on like their past relationships or how they present. Everyone deserves the space to define themselves in their own words on their own terms. Mm-hmm. And I think that is so, so big. So now I'm getting a tangent again.
Okay.
So in the queer community, something I love so much is that there's this beautiful understanding that love and sexuality are spectrums. There are no rigid boxes. There's no one way to be. Every relationship is unique, and that diversity is something to celebrate, not question, and certainly not erase. So with that being said, this is my last little bit on me. If you're still figuring out who you are, please give yourself grace. You don't have to have all the answers right now. If the people around you aren't safe or supportive, please, please know this. Your real family, the ones who see you, love you, and celebrate you, is out there. We are out here. We'll be the aunts, cousins, chosen siblings, whatever you need. You guys are never alone. And like, I feel like that is something we need now more than ever in this community.
100%.
So just know that here at Gorgeous Pandemonium, we're always here.
We absolutely are.
And our email address, if you ever want to write in, is gorgouspandemoniumpod@gmail.com.
Yes.
Okay. And that is mine. Questions, comments, concerns. You better not have any concerns, but
no, I love it. And I feel like some of the things that I'm going to say, I feel like are a little bit similar, but you just brought a thought to my head. Have you heard of, I want to say it's called Stand in Pride?
Stand in Pride. I think I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it.
Yes, Stand in Pride. So, kind of going off what you just said about like your chosen family is out there.
Mm-hmm.
So Stand in Pride is a nonprofit organization connecting members of LGBTQIA plus community with chosen family. There is an app that you can download. So like if you're having a wedding or an event and you need people to come in and stand in where others don't have the beautiful opportunity to because they're not supportive, you can, and it's literally like people across the US, but I think it might also be like across the world. But it's such a beautiful thing. So the creator's name is Dan, and I follow him and the nonprofit on Instagram. I think I also follow them on Facebook too. And it's such a beautiful thing. And he posts such beautiful stories of opportunities that he's been able to step in or other people, and just like, it's so beautiful. And you just get connected from people all over just wanting to be your family and wanting to support you and love you, and it's so beautiful. So if that's something anybody needs, I would suggest to look at it because it's a beautiful thing.
I love that. I'm so glad that somehow that came to you.
Me too.
Because nothing's a coincidence, right?
Yes.
The universe is putting things in our path, and that's awesome.
Yes.
I freaking love that.
I love it so much.
So now that I went through all my spiel, right, I really didn't talk about my coming out.
No, you didn't. Would you like to?
Is that like,
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like my coming out story is not super like.
Everyone's is different, though. That's the thing. So share what you want to share.
Okay. So I was exclusively dating men until I was in my 20s. I really only came out to my parents because everyone else, like, it was within the friend group and super chill and whatever. So with my mom, I sent her an email while I was at work one day.
Okay.
And I literally just said, because at this point in time, my mom and I weren't as close as we are now. We spoke every once in a while, but whatever. And I just said, the jig is up. I'm gay. Dating a woman. And that was all I said. Okay. Her response was awesome. It was something along the lines of, I kind of figured this day would come. Like, you've always liked girls, and that's fine.
Love that, though. I love that awareness.
Right? And then when I came out to my father, very different. My father is definitely more on the conservative side. And I didn't know how he was going to handle it because, like, we have family members that are part of the community and very out and very proud, and but it wasn't one of his children. And so I didn't know how he would handle it. So I was a coward. And I went to his work where it was very public.
Okay, don't call yourself that, because that's not. You still did it, and you did it in what you felt would be a safe place.
Right. But the thing is that with my dad, I'm never not safe.
Yeah. Yeah. But people obviously react.
Going to react.
Yeah, so people react differently in public spaces. So.
And I needed him to not react, and I just needed him to process. Yeah. So that's why I did it at work. But thank you. You're right. That wasn't a coward thing.
Be nice
to
yourself.
Went through.
Yes.
Fine. I'll be nice to myself. But so I'm sitting in his office with him, and he's just sitting there in his chair, leaned back with his. We call them the angry eyebrows, but it's just when he's in deep thought. Okay. And I get them when I'm really thinking. And I go, so I have a date this weekend. And he was like, all right. And I was like, it's with a girl. And he took a second. And okay, so for you guys who are at home, you can't see my hands. So you know when you like half pray?
Fingertips touching?
Your fingertips touching? And you're almost to like the prayer, but not quite. So he did that in his chair. And he's like, he took a second. And he said, well, there goes that fantasy of mine. And keep in mind, this was not a fantasy about me bearing grandchildren. This was his fantasy of women, right? And that was really the only. And like, okay. And then he started asking about her and all of this stuff. But like, I will never forget that because, like, and I should have known that with him, it was just going to be like almost like an awkward, like, oh man, okay. But like, because like, but okay, yeah, with him, I didn't know, but I should have known that by me coming out to him, it would be turned into some form of a joke. And not in like a derogatory way, but in like a lighthearted processing way, because he and I both use humor to process big information.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, aside from that, that's my coming out story. Because I really didn't come out to everyone else. I have had to correct a lot of people, which is fair, because being in a same-sex marriage and now dating a man, and even before I started dating a man, it was, well, you're a lesbian. I have all these lesbian friends. That's nice. I'm not a lesbian. I think lesbians are great. I date one. I have. But I don't really care. That's not the point of it. So, like, it's weird because, like, I feel like my relationship with coming out has changed dramatically. Because at first it was so scary, right?
Yeah.
But And now it's just like second nature when someone says, "Oh, well, you're a lesbian, right?" It's like, no, I'm not. I'm pansexual. What does that even mean? Well, pull up a chair. Let me tell you. Like, this is really cool. And it's gone from like a heavy, let me explain myself to a, let me educate you. Because I think that's what a lot of the world is lacking is education on humanity. And I say humanity very broadly because this is just a part of humanity. I think there's like, I'm totally going to get this number wrong, but I think there's like 80 something other species in the world that have queerness in them.
Yeah, there's so many. Yeah.
And yet we are the only ones who find it immoral. Which is so odd to me. Because what is morality? But that's a different discussion. And that's a big discussion. So we'll probably wait on that one. But yeah. So, okay. I feel complete now.
Good. I love that.
Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to you, Teresa.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing with me. Of course. So as far as my identity in the community, I am bi. I feel like, kind of like I said, I'm going to maybe repeat a couple of things because obviously bi and pan are very similar. And I want to preface by saying that in the, like, first off, nobody has to have a label, right? So I love, like, what your sister said. You don't have to have a label. You don't have to like know what your specific identity is in a community to belong in the community, right? But if you are searching for a label, or if you are, you want something, like, find what works for you and what fits with you. Because, I mean, again, bi, pan, queer, like, those can all mean very similar things, but maybe they just feel different or sit different with certain individuals. Because for some people, bi does mean, oh, I like men and I like women, and that's two, because bi is generally two, right? But for me, it's kind of the same thing. Like, I don't care about gender. I like people, and I'm open to loving everybody. Like, you don't have to be within a certain gender, binary, whatever, for me to find you attractive or want to date you or whatever. Okay, so when we're done kind of talking through our identities and journeys, we're going to talk through some friends who have shared some things with us, and we came up with, like, I say we, it was really Gabby. Gabby does all the things. I'm just here to let my voice be heard. Gabby came up with some questions that we're asking, so I kind of lean a little bit more towards answering these questions. So the first one that I'm answering is, when did you first begin to explore or understand your identity? So for me, it's kind of been over like the past 5 years. And that's when, like, 5 years ago was when I got divorced from my first marriage. And I really kind of wanted to understand, like, where I was at, where I was going, understand more about myself, right? Growing up as a woman with a lot of feminine friends, and mind you, I actually had a lot of friends already within the community, but it was like, a lot of my friends were lesbian. Some of them, I think, were trying to understand where they were at, and they, would date a man or be with a man and then go and be with women and claim full, I'm a lesbian, I'm never going to be with a man again, right? And so I don't know that I really had a lot of exposure to bisexuality or fluid in that sense. And being feminine with feminine friends, like, those relationships are just more intimate by nature. Like, we would very frequently hold hands and cuddle on the couch when we're watching a movie together. And, we shared clothes and we like did all of these things that could be seen as more intimate that I guess generally you wouldn't see with like masculine friendships. And so like a lot of those things, um, I think helped like almost cover things for me to a point. Like I have always been interested in feminine beings and found them extremely beautiful and amazing and so many things. And I mean, even growing up, like I've shared with you, when we would go to parties and we would all drink together, there were some of us that would like kiss and make out. And with like the men that we were with at those parties, it was like, oh, it's two girls kissing, it's hot, whatever, right? Like there's nothing more to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know, like thinking back through all of those things, but I remember with those parties, there was one friend in particular that we would at like every party, and then she got a different partner, and he was not okay with it. And he was like, no, like that's like a form of cheating, like that's outside of our relationship. And I was like, dude, calm down. Like, it's fine. It's not. Like, it's all good. And I was like legitimately upset about it. And thinking back, like, obviously, I was upset about it because I was not a straight woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Straight women would not even be doing that, let alone be upset about it.
Right.
So, yeah, so just kind of understanding like what that means and how to move forward. And actually, after my divorce, I did start talking to other women as well. And I actually did date a woman. And then obviously I found the amazing husband that I have now. Um, and it was nice to just be able to like freely talk to everyone and anyone. And it was also nice. I guess I don't really have like a true coming out story because like after my divorce, I was living with my parents, and so anybody I went out with on a date with, like my parents and my siblings were pretty aware, and so they all knew that I was out dating a woman or talking to other women, and it was great. Like there was never any question or anything about it, which was really nice. The next question that I want to talk through is how has embracing your identity changed your relationships, values, or sense of purpose? It's allowed me to be more like open and honest with myself, and know what I deserve and value. So kind of talking back through like at the parties when your significant other doesn't care if you're off kissing other people, right? I feel like a lot of the men that I was with, like, didn't see that again as a threat, didn't see it as something more than just something for fun. And I think that that's something big in the community around bi, pan, queer is that like sometimes I think you had kind of said like you're not always taken seriously of like, oh, you're with a woman and then oh, you're with a man and oh, you're back and forth and you're, oh, you were straight all along or you were gay all along or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And not like it's so important for you to have a partner that understands and respects your identity with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I had never truly had that until James. And that's really nice. And like we've had a lot of conversations about it. And it's yeah, so that like that's one thing that I want to say about like what I value and what I is like mandatory in relationships that I have now is like you need to understand my identity and you need to respect that and like take it seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then the last one is what would you say to someone who's still figuring out who they are? What matters is you and how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like we were saying, like, you don't have to have a label. You don't have to have this one word that defines your identity. And even if you do have an identity and have a label and you realize that's really not it, and I think I'm actually more this, or I think like life is an ever-evolving journey.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay if your labels and your identity and the things and the people and whatever you like, those all evolve with you as you grow. And it's okay.
Right.
And don't let people take that from you. Kind of like, again, we're saying, like, oh, you were a woman with a woman and now you're back with a man. You were straight all along, whatever. No.
Right.
Like, don't let people do that to you. Respect and love yourself. I think you said to give yourself grace.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, again, just know this is a journey and it's okay to be where you are and then to be somewhere else, however soon down the line in your journey. Surround yourself with people who love and support you and respect you. And if that is not the people that you have been surrounding yourself with, that can be so hard and painful and so many things. But know that there are people out there who will love you and support you, and that you are worth having that and you are worth finding that. You can make your own family. You can, find different friends and people who love and support you. You are amazing and you are worthy, and you've got this, and the world is a better place with you in it.
I love that.
Thank you. One thing I didn't write down, but I kind of want to talk through too, something about me being able to, like, understand my identity, like, I don't want to say, like, come to terms with, but, like, become comfortable with, I guess, my identity too, is, for me, I have had a journey with my femininity and masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's also something that kind of scared me thinking before of, like, being with another woman or feminine being.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to be seen as the less feminine one.
Mm-hmm.
And thinking now, I'm like, why does that matter? Like, it's just someone's opinion, right? And, like, in a relationship, you both bring different things, whether you're man and woman or, like, whatever you are, like, you both bring different things to the relationship. And so anyway, that's something I've become a lot more comfortable with recently. Even, like, in the way that I present myself too, I've been a lot more comfortable feeling like I don't have to be overly feminine presenting all the time. And knowing that my very masculine husband will still love me, even if I feel like I'm not the most feminine presenting. And that's been an interesting journey, but it's been a good one.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you for being vulnerable.
Of course.
I love that. Okay, can I speak to something that you said?
Yes.
So when you were doing the advice part, you were talking about surrounding yourself with people who do love and support you.
Yes.
I'm going to actually touch back on our conversation last week.
Okay.
And you guys, I think that everyone needs to remember, just because they're your blood does not mean anything. Like, and I don't want that to come across harsh, because, like, my blood, my family, I love them. And like I said last week, I've had to take a step back from them. And it hasn't been permanent. For some of them it has, but not everyone. But until people, like, especially when you have fundamental differences, I feel like it is so important to surround yourself with people who unconditionally love you. They don't love you just because you're related to them. They love you because of who you are. Whoever you are is so important, especially right now. So remember that finding your chosen family, although it might sound big and scary, and because it is sometimes, it's so worth it. It is so worth it.
It is. It's so important.
It's so important. We're pointing at each other, just so you guys know.
It really is. And it's like if you follow us on social, awesome. If you don't, you should, because we're great and we post amazing things.
Hey, let's be honest. If you follow us on Instagram, because that's still the only place we're at, we still haven't started our
That's
TikTok
fair,
yet.
but Instagram is where it's at. It's great. We will get to TikTok eventually.
Yeah.
And I feel like Facebook is old.
Well, now that I've moved, we actually can. Because we're not going to be solely working on getting me moved.
Yes, that's true. Because we got her moved into a new beautiful space.
Last weekend it happened, and
it was so beautiful.
And my new apartment. Well, actually, we're not in my new apartment right now. We are actually at Charissa's home.
Yes.
And this is so exciting being here and recording here because I've got her dog right next to me, just loving me, which is great. So if you've heard like the clickety clack of his claws on the floor, like that's why. But now we'll be able to, because when you come over, it's not like we're gonna have to like sift through boxes to find somewhere to sit down.
Yes.
So this will be good.
It's so good.
Okay, sorry, I totally cut you off there.
You're totally good. But I was gonna say the post that like we were actually just talking about earlier.
Yes.
That if there is a part of your body that like one of your organs that is fucking up your health, like it's not doing good by you.
Yeah.
You remove it. I mean, obviously there are certain organs that like
we'll talk about
you can't remove. Right? Yes, appendix. Right? So if your appendix is not great, your gallbladder. I've had my gallbladder removed.
I've had my appendix removed.
Okay.
Well, so I have my gallbladder though.
Okay. Well, I have my appendix. So look at that.
Between the two of us, we're so complete.
We are. But if those things are not doing good for you, you remove them.
Right.
And you're still okay. Like
better than okay.
Yes, actually, seriously. Since getting my gallbladder removed, so much better.
Seriously,
so much better. That toxic bitch is gone.
I'm not curled up on the bathroom floor at 2 in the morning because it hurts so bad. So that's good.
Yes. So anyway, just if there are people who are not supporting you and loving you and helping you to be your full, true, amazing, beautiful self, it may be a journey and it may be hard. You are not alone. You are loved and you will find those people.
And we will always be a safe space if you need us.
Yes. Yes. You can always email us, message us, reach out. We are here.
Yep, we are. We absolutely are.
Okay, so would we like to read from our friends now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Okay, so I think everyone's staying anonymous. Is that right? Oh no, there's one person who's not staying anonymous.
Yes, we are. If they are not staying anonymous, though, we are only using first names.
Okay.
To still have some sort of.
Okay. So this is from someone who is near and dear to me. He says, my childhood was in the late 90s and early 2000s. It was a period where gay identities were being discussed more than ever, but were still far from social acceptance. I remember that while most politicians considered to be liberal would discuss the humanity and respect the community deserved, but it was still mainstream political suicide to say that you supported gay marriage. The Democratic primary debates between Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama stick out vividly to me as an example. With that being said, my coming out story or experience was far from tragic. I never really had to come out as I began dating other boys in junior high, which was not offensive to my mostly female, non-religious group of friends. And eventually, the word just got out to everyone that I was gay. My mother even used to tell me at a very young age about the importance of tolerance toward the gay community, and that if I was ever gay, she would absolutely accept me as I am. A mother always knows, as they say. I do not recall ever having to declare who I am, but just continued to live as I felt and left it to others to let me know if they had an issue with it. The experiences I've had with others being confrontational about it is far and few between. I've always had a nonchalant attitude about my sexuality, as I've never viewed it as a complicated part of myself. It is something that is as innate to me as my eye or hair color, but I've also learned over time that my sexuality does not house all the answers to my identity characteristics. Sometimes it can fit the mold of what general perception of a gay man is, but I find that most aspects of myself are far more nuanced if I choose to do the mental work. I'm not able to speak for everyone, but I have found a lot more importance in figuring out what all the other components of myself are outside of my sexuality and how it fits into my being in this lifetime.
I love that so much.
And he is so cool. He is amazing. Love that guy.
Meet him. I love it.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to share one of yours?
Yes, I do. Okay, so this is from my friend Jake, and he again I provided him some of the questions, and he just answered the questions. So first one, how do you identify and what does that identity mean to you? I am a transgender man. To me, that means that although I was born with female anatomy, the terms girl, woman, or female never quite fit me. My brain and my soul have always aligned with a more masculine identity. Who was the first person you came out to, and what was that moment like? The first person I came out to was actually myself. Although I've always felt this way, I never recognized it for what it was until I was around 16. But at that age, I simply didn't have the capacity, mentality, or the emotional capacity to accept that part of my identity. So I shoved it down as far as I could and lived in deep denial for 10 years. Once I finally gained the courage to explore my gender identity and came to the conclusion that I'm trans, once I finally said it to myself out loud, I sat in my living room and cried. Both from a sense of intense relief that I finally had answers to questions I had been asking my whole life, but also from a deep sense of fear at how much my life was about to change and not knowing how this would impact me. But 2 years later, I can recognize that coming out to myself and eventually everyone else in my life is the best thing I've ever done for myself, and I wouldn't go backward for anything. Who or what has been a source of strength or comfort as you've embraced your identity? I wouldn't have been able to get this far without my family and without the community spaces I found over the last few years. I'll specifically shout out my brother, sister-in-law, and the extended family I have through her. I'll also shout out Charissa, who's been my best friend through everything and who I love like family, as well as her husband, James. All of these people embraced my identity without hesitation and helped me to feel whole. What's something you've unlearned or relearned about yourself along the way? Accepting my gender identity has allowed me to move forward in accepting my sexuality. I've always been attracted to women, but felt that I wasn't allowed to feel that way, and I was gross for being attracted to women. And because of that, I've gone my whole life without dating or even so much as kissing someone. I just kind of assumed that my fate was to be alone. But through this whole experience and a lot of therapy, I'm finally getting to a point where I'm getting away from that mentality, and I'm no longer embarrassed to admit that women are, well, hot. If you could leave a message for your younger self, what would that be? If I could leave a message for that 16-year-old version of me who was so scared and confused, I would say that he is worth so much more than he thinks he is. He never has to fit into someone else's box, no matter how hard they may try to shove him into one. That he is more than the expectations that people want him to fulfill, and anyone who can't see that your true self is your best, happiest, and most badass self can fuck off. You don't need them.
I love that so much.
Me too.
I love that so much. And Jake is amazing.
He is.
I had the opportunity to meet him a couple times now.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's awesome.
Good stuff. You have one more that you're going to read?
Right? Oh, yeah, I do. Okay. So, this is another anonymous from one of my transgender friends. Okay. So, the first one that he answered was, when did you first begin to explore or understand your identity? And he says, I think I really started to explore and understand my identity during my late teens. Before that, I mostly just went with the flow and didn't think too much about who I was outside of what people expected from me, whether that's family, school, and society in general. But as I got older and had more life experiences, I started questioning things and figuring out what actually mattered to me personally. It wasn't some big moment. It was more like a slow process of realizing that my values, interests, and the way I see myself didn't always line up with how others saw me. That's when I started to get a clearer picture of who I actually am, not just who I was told to be. The next one he answered was, how has your relationship with coming out evolved over time? My relationship with coming out has definitely changed over time. At first, it felt like this huge, scary thing, like I had to make a big announcement and hope people would still accept me. There was a lot of fear around that, especially worrying about how family or close friends would react. But as I've grown more confident in who I am, it's become less about making a statement and more about just living authentically. I don't feel the need to explain myself to everyone anymore, and not because I owe anyone an explanation. It's more about being real with the people who matter and creating space where I don't have to hide any part of myself.
I love that.
And then I had asked him a variation of one of the advice questions. And I asked him, what would you tell someone who is afraid or trying to figure out how to live their true, authentic life? And he said, if someone's afraid or trying to figure out how to live their true, authentic life, I tell them that it's okay to take their time. You don't have to have it all figured out right now. It's a process and it's different for everyone. What matters most is being honest with yourself first, even if you're not ready to be open with others yet. Start by doing small things that feel true to who you are. Surround yourself with people who make you feel safe and supported, and let go of the idea that you have to meet everyone's expectations. Your authenticity is valid even if you're still a work in progress. And you're not alone. There's always someone out there who understands and will accept you just as you are.
That is so beautiful.
Isn't it?
Is that the end?
That was the end.
Okay,
Yeah,
I love that so much.
Right?
It's so true because, I mean, just like we're saying with everything else, like your journey is your journey.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to come out, at a certain age or in a certain, like, once you figure it out, it's like, hey, you got 48 hours to tell everybody. No, that's not, there's no timelines. There's no defined things there. I love that so much. That's so beautiful.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I love that.
Okay.
So I would like to put a really big thank you to those who were open to sharing their stories. I know that we had a few other people who were like down to share, but they weren't able to get it to us in time for this specific episode. If you're listening and you want to write in your story, your experience within the community, or even as an ally, I feel like our allies catch a lot of flack that we don't hear about because we are so engulfed in what's happening to the community.
That's fair.
Not just, and not the allies that are of our community, if that makes sense. Let's see. But yeah, just sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. But if you want to email us, if you don't have our phone numbers, we are not putting our phone numbers out on this. But you can email the podcast at gorgouspandemoniumpod@gmail.com, like I said before. We would be happy to share your story. We will keep you anonymous unless you explicitly say that it is okay to use your first name. Aside from that, like, no, we will not out anybody.
Yep.
That's not our place.
Yep. And if you don't know, like, what to say specifically, sometimes it's hard to, like, put it all into words completely right. Like I said, we do have a list of, I think we have a list of like 15 questions.
I think so.
Yeah, 15 questions that we'd be happy to send you and have you choose, a couple. And we can also, I think these are, for mainly people in the community. We're happy to come up with some for allies as well because allies are very important and we want your stories to be heard too.
Right. Absolutely.
Love it.
Oh, I was going to say at the beginning of the episode, so on our Instagram, if you follow us on Instagram, every day this month we have been posting a different flag and what the meaning is behind it. I think we got to 21 flags, I think is where we stopped doing flags and then we switched gears a little bit. So the reason that we did this is because, Teresa, I don't know about you, but for me, I've been a part of the community for a long while now. And I still get confused what the flags are.
Yeah.
Because there's so many. So we put these together and figured out what exactly each one means, what they stand for, the difference between things. Like, I didn't know that there was a difference between asexual and aromantic. No idea. But now I do, which is, this is so cool. This is such a learning experience for me as well as for you.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
I love this part of it. But yeah, those are all on our, they will be out throughout the month. I know that we will have other, like, we'll have a post every week or every day about something related to Pride. If it's not a flag, it will be about like the history or something that's going on or something like that.
Yep. I love it so much. I think it's great because, like you said, even being a part of the community, like, the community is so big and encompasses so many, and it's so beautiful, and it's okay for us to not know all of that, but it's also great for you to, you know, go out and educate yourself or find these sources that, you know, can explain things to you and help you to understand, and it's so beautiful. I love it. And I had a random thought in like talking through these things as we go through Pride Month. I've also shared like some things on my personal Instagram story reminding individuals that we don't always know people's place in the community, and not like based off what they look like, right? Or based off what their relationship looks like. And that's okay. We don't need to.
Right.
As long as everyone involved is like not out hurting someone or yelling negative things at someone or whatever, like, it's not your business. If they are at Pride and they are living their lives, that's great. Or they're repping Pride or whatever, that's great. Like, we don't have to know, because there are so many identities that are not always physically apparent. And that's okay. They are still relevant and valid.
There was something, I think that you posted it to your personal page, or you reshared it or whatever to your story, and it was like just a big warning sign, not even a warning sign, but like a PSA of don't judge a relationship by its cover.
Yeah.
Because you don't know. Like, and to like speak specifically to that for people who are like, what do they mean by that? You don't know if this person is like, you don't, like, it could be a straight man and a bi woman, a bi man and a straight woman. It could be anything, right? It could it could be a transgender couple. It could be anything.
Even asexual, aromantic, pan, demi. Like, there's so many things that, don't present one way. And even, like, I would say everybody and everything doesn't present one way. Obviously, there's assumptions out there, or quote unquote norms that we see and assume. But it's so many things that you don't see and you don't know.
Right. So just be mindful.
Yes.
And back to what you said, and even further back to what my sister said, you're not in bed with them. It doesn't fucking matter.
Exactly.
Like, I think that if you are, like, I'm a curious person. I love to know because I want all the information. So for one, I don't misgender someone because I have done that before and felt like total shit because it's like, I had no idea, but now I know, and I'm so sorry, it'll never happen again. Hold on. I have to make a mental note because that just sparked something else I wanted to touch on. But like, I'm a curious person, and like, I know that you and James are so good about being patient with me because I have so many questions that I feel like I have to like soundboard off of you to make sure before I go to someone else that it's not ignorant, it's not rude, it's because you guys are like my moral compass a lot of the time because you are such good people and you understand things and you understand the way my brain works a lot more than some people do, and that's fantastic and such a relief.
Well, I think it also depends on how people ask questions, because sometimes it's, well, there's a negative connotation or a negative way you're asking because, well, I don't understand and I don't agree with it. Ask all these questions, whatever. You come from such a beautiful place of wanting to grow and wanting to understand, to support the people that you're talking to.
Right.
So that also makes it really big.
Well, right.
Yeah,
absolutely. Own it. Because that's why I ask the questions I ask, because I want to be able to grow not only in myself but help others grow. and be comfortable.
Yep.
And so it's like, if you are coming from a place of curiosity to help them, like to support other people, to show up authentically for other people instead of on a surface level, I feel like that's fine to ask if you have the relationship with them. Not romantic, but even like a friendship. If you are on a level of your friendship or whatever, that is a comfortable conversation, awesome. It's not always going to be. And sometimes you just have to live with that. Because at the end of the day, unless you're sleeping with them, it's none of your business.
Yep. We are not. Some people, I feel like, feel so entitled to information because they're curious or because they don't understand.
Right.
And you're not. You are not entitled to any part of anyone's story or journey if they don't want you to be.
Exactly. And I feel like the entitlement is so heavy. Especially in the month of June every year. Because it's like, I love our community. I feel like our community is so accepting and loving and present for each other. But at the same time, it is one of the most judgmental communities I've ever been a part of. And that's very hard to navigate.
Yep.
And it's like, for the super conservative people out there who are like, you are this and that is wrong. What is so wrong about it? They found love. They love. What do you do?
Yeah.
You spread hate. Ooh, way to go.
Yeah. Just because it's different doesn't mean it's bad.
Right?
Different from what you know or what you think or what you feel.
Right. And I feel like that's a really, like, a big part of, like, small town mentality. And granted, we're in Utah. Utah has a lot of not so small towns, but the mentality, and I feel like even in Grand Salt Lake, depending on where you are, the mentality is very small towny, where it's, this is what we know, and that's it. And that's a big struggle. I know for a lot of people, and I know that where you live in Utah County, which is even smaller towny minded, and I'm up in Davis County, which is smaller than there. I don't feel like it's, well, I was in Bountiful, now I'm farther north, but like, I feel like it's still not as small towny as here. But like I forgot where I was going with this. What was
the mindset?
The mindset. Thank you. So like with the small town mindset, like it's very, the entitlement is so there. The ignorance is out of control. And it's not like I am ignorant about certain things. For sure. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't have to know everything. I would like to know everything, but that's okay. But the ignorance is out of control sometimes with that small town mindset and with that entitlement of, well, you have to explain yourself to me so I can decide if I like it or not. Why? You're passing me on the street. I don't have to explain myself to you. I will never see you again. Or if I do, it will be passing you in the street again.
I don't owe you shit.
Exactly. Even with like certain friends or family members, like biological family members, they are not entitled to your fullness if you are not comfortable sharing with them, if it is not a safe space for you.
Yep.
And if that's the case, find your chosen family. Find your freaking chosen family, because we're out here.
Yes.
They are out there.
Yes.
We are here. We're pretty cool.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. So, yes. Peanuts. Okay. So, since we were talking about a couple of our people, transgender, that wrote in, right? So, I was talking to one of my friends about how tolerant he is about people misgendering him, because he is super tolerant. In my, like, I am not transgender. I haven't walked those footsteps. I don't know what it's like personally.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't make sense in my mind that people keep misgendering him
Mm-hmm.
when here he is.
Yeah. It's a journey.
Let me rephrase that. Here he is.
Mm-hmm.
Because he has transitioned.
Mm-hmm.
He is here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 100%.
And so we were talking about it the other day, and I don't even remember how we got onto the topic, but someone was misgendering him a lot, and I won't stand for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I won't be rude about it,
mm-hmm.
but I will very subtly use their name
mm-hmm.
and use his pronouns. I say subtle, but I feel like I like kind of emphasize them both because the person that we were with was using his dead name and his dead pronouns, and that's not cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I would insert the correct things and correct this person. And he just kind of let it happen. Like he didn't, I've never once heard him correct anybody, which is very hard for me because I'm like, why?
Mm-hmm.
Why am I sitting here correcting people on your behalf, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, he's so kind and so like patient with people. And he's like, it'll take them time to like really get it. It's still new to them. They don't see me all the time, whatever. So I figured this analogy, right? Because to me, everything comes back to food.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to him and I was like, well, person of undisclosed name, if you developed a peanut allergy and you told this person you had a peanut allergy, do you think that they would still willy-nilly feed you peanut and peanut butter and whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no, I don't. I was like they might slip up and forget once.
Yeah.
Until you go into anaphylactic shock, right? But that, in my mind, that makes sense. Like to me, those two are equal.
Yeah.
That is a dead version of whatever, right? That is a dead, that is dead. Dead. Mm-hmm. Gone. No longer.
Yep.
This is here, this is now. Anaphylactic shock, here and now. To me, it's the same thing. Mm-hmm. That's how my mind works. I'm not saying that.
I love that though, because you're saying like, this is serious, take it serious.
Exactly.
And if it was something else, it's just like also when people have physical versus visible versus invisible disabilities.
Yeah.
You don't take them as seriously if you can't see them and it's not right there, right? Something that you have to be so mindful of. But it is all the same level of seriousness and deserves the same level of attention and respect.
Yes. Exactly. See, you understand my brain. I love it.
I do.
But and I think that really resonated with him because since then, from my understanding, it's been not as prevalent that it's happening.
Nice.
Granted, okay. I haven't seen them together in a minute, but and I really hope that helped him explain it to the other person.
Mm-hmm.
That, hey, I know that this is what you're used to. Anaphylactic shock. Let's not go there.
That's fair.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so I was gonna say, I hate that I'm using anaphylactic shock and an allergy to compare. But it's just like comparing with a body organ that is no longer serving you, right? Yep. You
do what you need to for your health to take care of you.
To take care of yourself. And your mental health is so important. And being seen and accepted as who you are authentically is so important.
Yep, 100%.
I'm going to step off my little, I don't know what it's called, soapbox. I almost called it a milk carton.
Hey girl, stand on whatever you want to stand on, okay? I love that. It's so true though, having people see you and accept you and respect you Like, it makes such a big difference. I actually did a presentation on this, a very small presentation, but I will say there is going to be a word that I'm going to say that might be a little triggering, so trigger warning. For LGBTQ plus youth specifically, and I may have to fact check this, but if I'm remembering right from my presentation, having one accepting adult in their family lowers suicide risk by 40%.
Mm-hmm.
And having one or having people accept you and see you for your sexual identity and your gender identity lowers it by 50%. So, like, just having people see you, having someone be there to be supportive, like, literally enhances your life. It makes things better. So we all need to be here to support all of the people. Like what is, I understand, I think that a hard thing for some people is the unknown, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, but I don't feel that way, so I don't understand why you feel that way. I don't understand why you want to do this because I've never felt the need to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. That's okay that you don't understand. That's okay that you've never felt that way.
Right.
That doesn't make it not valid for me or other people, to feel this way. And I think one of the biggest things too that I have come to realize is these people kind of base their acceptance and respecting on you being able to justify this to me or give me an explanation that I can swallow, so okay, I can respect you.
Right.
You don't have to understand to respect someone.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even have to agree with them to respect them. You can still respect and love them and support them.
Right.
And yeah, I'll jump off my soapbox.
I love that soapbox. You can get back on anytime.
Something that I will say that just came to mind.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel comfortable enough to be your full true self, because that's a journey for all of us, right? You don't always know how much that means to other people to see you. Because I will say part of my journey as well, one of my other friends is just so unapologetically herself in so many areas of life, and I love it so much. But it's really inspired me to truly understand and be myself, and be out about it too, and introduce my different identities, whether it's my identity in the LGBTQ plus community, my identity with my neurodiversity, my identity, like so many different things. Like you can literally put it into so many different areas of your life because you never know who is going to be watching and who is going to be appreciating that and seeing that and even just feeling safe. Oh my gosh, this person, just introduced themselves as this in this space that you wouldn't expect that. And I can breathe a little lighter now because I know I'm not alone. Or I know that, maybe this person I feel safe, whatever, right? So I think that's super important too. It's so great to be able to go out and be unapologetically yourself. And I will say, like, I'm working on that. I'm still trying to embrace all of that, right? I will say I'm proud of myself for how much I have done that. But it's still a journey. Like, we're all on these journeys figuring that out. But where you feel safe and where you can, I think it's so important to show who you truly are to everyone. It makes me think of, I've seen this on social media floating around multiple times, but especially right now during Pride. And it says, I don't wear rainbows to show you who's in my bed. I wear rainbows to show the couple across the street that they're safe with me.
Yes.
To show the little boy in the store looking at dresses that I'm not going to judge him. To show, I don't remember the end of it, but basically and it says, I wear rainbows to show that they're safe because you make them hide, something like that.
Yes.
But yeah, like you're out representing, saying, hey, I'm safe, I see you, you're not alone.
I think that is something that, how do I put this? I love about our community, but frustrates me about the community is because, and it doesn't frustrate me in like a super negative way. It's one of those things where it's like, ah, dang it. I wish more people understood that. Because as much as us going to Pride and me wearing my rainbow dress, right, is such a statement for myself being part of the community. I don't just wear it to Pride. Because my pride for who I am and for the people in our community is not just here in this month. I wear it to work. I wear it to family functions. Like, I have a couple of shirts that are very gay and queer and whatever, and because we're not just visible this month. We as a community.
Yes.
We are not just here this month. We are here always. And we don't. So something you always talk to me about is that I deserve the good that's happening, right? And just like I tell you, you deserve all the good things, right? This is one of those things that being part of this community, we all need to understand is that we deserve to be here.
100%.
To be able to freely be who we are. And I know right now it is very scary for a lot of reasons to be your true authentic self. But like we said so many times, you're not alone. We are so much stronger together than we are individually. So during one of my, this is fantastic. Okay, so during one of my tarot readings, and I say one of them, but it was like consistently like 4 in a row, I got the 5 of Wands. Okay, that is one of the big conflict cards. Then, and I use different decks for all of them. Because, fun fact about me, I love me some tarot decks.
How many do you have? Do you know?
So when I was packing, I packed them almost all together.
I'm going to say like between 20 and 30.
Well, I don't know. I didn't count them.
Okay.
But I filled one of the big tubs, like those plastic storage container things. I filled it all the way full and still have some more
so much options
floating around. Yeah, but like, okay, so with these tarot cards that I was reading and got these 5 separate wands. So one deck, because this is such a big conflict card, only one of them that I read through, because I read through all of the meanings per deck because every deck is different and has, like, they're usually roughly the same meaning, but some of them are a little different, which I think is really great because it gives that variety. And you have sassy, or I have sassy decks, I have not so sassy decks, I have very point blank decks that are kind of mean and hurt my feelings. And then I also have like super like lovey decks that are just like everything's gonna be fine. And I'm like, okay, this is, because sometimes I just need a vote of confidence, even though if I avoid the other decks because I know that they're going to tell me like, you're in a shitstorm because you put yourself here, how dare you, right? But sorry, I keep getting distracted about these cards. So this one deck that I was reading about, the 5 of Wands, it was talking about how if you look at the card, you have 5 different people fighting each other with the wands, right? With these big sticks, big sticks. And it talks about how individually, eventually, every single wand will break. But if you were to put all 5 wands together, that is so much stronger than each individual wand by itself.
It's true.
And being part of this community, I feel like, is the 5 of Wands, because sometimes we honestly feel like it's every section for itself, right? But the point of Pride is unity, because we are all mistreated in one way or another. And as beautiful as it is to celebrate Pride for each individual section or person or whatever, the purpose of Pride is for us to come together and support each other.
Yep.
And I think that is a beautiful thing.
I agree. I love it.
Thank you. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Girl, always front row.
Did I make sense? I feel like I've lost myself a couple
No,
times.
I love it so much.
Okay.
I love what you said. I love how you brought that together.
Thank you.
Of course.
So, this was a big, beautiful episode. And I am so happy that you guys are still here with us. And I am pumped that you guys joined. I don't feel like it was as chaotic this time.
Mm-mm.
This was a very well put together. Not as much chaos as normal, but still big conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Big things, little things, the crazy detours.
All the
here we are.
Between.
So we are going to call it a day here. But make sure you come back next week for more queerness.
Yes.
Is that cool? Queerness? Yeah. Because that's all encompassing.
It is, yes. And I mean, not every word or label aligns with everyone, and that's okay. But I think that's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Term.
And then I think I said earlier, or maybe I didn't, I don't know. But so this episode today, and then next Tuesday, because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we come out every Tuesday. Hey. It'll also be very Pride and LGBTQ related.
Yes.
And then again, if you guys have any stories, experiences, anything like that you want to share with us, just send them into the pod. And thank you.
Questions, events, things you want us to share.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. So again, thank you so much for joining us in today's beautiful conversation.
We hope you had as much fun as we did. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe, leave us a review or comment of your favorite moment or what you'd like to hear next, and share it with your friends. Like we said, you can comment on whatever platform you're listening on, or social, or you can email us.
Spotify, my dear.
Huh?
We're only on Spotify.
All right, comment on Spotify, comment on Instagram, email us. And we did say it earlier, but again, our email is gorgouspandemoniumpod@gmail.com.
Yes. Also, we noticed that one of our beautiful listeners commented this on last week's episode.
Yes.
And brought us a beautiful topic that we will probably cover in next week or the week after. So yeah. If you are concerned that we're not going to get to your stuff in time, if you do send us anything, we have no reservations about putting out your story or anything like that outside of Pride Month.
Absolutely.
Because again, we're here all the time. Pride is not
during June.
June is not the only time we can be ourselves and share our stories.
Yes.
So here we are. Okay, well then, in that case, we will see you
next Tuesday.
Okay, bye.
Bye.